Alright, this is Uncanny Excellent Men 414, and as the cover should clue you in, this issue is all about Northman, one of my favourite characters. It was this issue that brought Northman into the fold as a member of the Excellent Men, although he had briefly been on the team before this. It was here when he became more heavily linked to the Excellent Men. I quite like this cover. This was when Marvel, they were kind of flirting with anime and manga styles. And while this is just a poster cover, it is at least appropriate as the issue is about Northman. This issue, it's written by Bucky Larson, who is almost unanimously agreed to be the worst Excellent Men writer ever, and one of the worst writers in the industry. His backstory is that he started off doing porn comics, and then Marvel signed him, and Marvel did what they often do when they exclusively sign a writer. They put them on everything, regardless of their talent or their following. So he was on Uncanny Excellent Men, he was on Captain America, Avengers, Iron Man, X-Cells, despite never being any good or ever getting better. X-Cells was probably his best one, but the rest are really awful. I would say with Uncanny Excellent Men, it's more the case that when it is bad, it is really bad. But then there's some bits in between, or there's a stray idea here or there, where you can almost enjoy it or see some potential. I think most people would agree that the highlight of his run, the best he got, was the character stuff that he did with Juggernaut, which was incredibly simplistic and bordering on one-dimensional. So it might just seem better by being in a run that is full of overwhelmingly bad ideas and broken stories. Here there is a muty kid in Canada, and he's getting beaten up by his father because, as you will see, Bucky Larson, he doesn't really do subtlety. The muty kid, he does a big explosion, and meanwhile Dr. X, he wants to recruit Northman to teach at his muty school. And the notion is that Dr. X wants him, not just because of his muty powers or his celebrity stature, but because he thinks his homosexuality might help students accept themselves if they are gay as well. It's a bit dodgy sounding, but I reckon Bucky Larson, he was trying to establish an actually considerate idea or subject, but he just wrote it and it sounded wrong. Then we have got immature homophobic jokes about Northman teaching the boys' gym class. Bucky Larson, he is never good. If you think he has done something remarkable or halfway decent, he loves to undo it with some tone-deaf, blunt shite. If you are willing to blank some of the suspect bits, Northman, he isn't written that bad. He ends up agreeing to at least gang with the Excellent Men to investigate the muty boy who did that explosion. And here is the Excellent Men. The art isn't great either. It's not bad, it's just a bad fit for the book. I'll use the recap page here since it's a better team image. We have got Wingman, he is a leader. We have got the Smurf, Snowman, and this last is a prostitute called Stacey Egg. She comes from the run before this one, and she won't last much longer. They meet up with Northman and they investigate the house. We got some tawdry soap opera shite with Wingman and Stacey. The characters, they are written quite badly. They're all loud, and it's like they're talking to an audience rather than each other. Oh god, that is a brilliant observation. Well done, me. There are some nice little character bits along the way, but really undermining them is usually straight after them or alongside them, or some other bits that lack any subtlety at all. It's like a microcosm of the entire run. Like, we have got shite with Wingman being an angel, and the kids talking about their mum being dead and how she's in heaven now. It's fucking painful. But then there's a bit with the Smurf and the kid thinking that he looks cool, which I think is a cute little bit. The Excellent Men and Northman, they are conveniently idiots when they have to be. The mutie boy, he's outright saying that he caused the explosion, that he did it, but they just ignore him. They treat him like he's a kid, and it's like they can't even hear what the kid is saying. Like, he's one of the Rugrats. Like, he's one of the babies in the Rugrats, and they're the parents who can't really hear what they're saying. So, after some pointless, melodramatic debate, Northman, he ends up having to fly the kid to the Excellent Men's School himself, and almost immediately, he randomly announces that he is gay to this kid, just because the script needs him to. And the kid is homophobic and bigoted towards Northman. He doesn't like Northman. He doesn't want Northman to touch him because he's gay. It's all quite believable for a child, I guess. And I'm sure someone can look hard and find some weird subtext here, or some homophobic sentiment from Bucky Larson. But again, I need to point out, you've seen already, Bucky Larson, he cannot fucking do subtlety or finesse or out like that. If there's some analogy to be made between Northman's sexuality, him saving this kid being homophobic, the kid hating him, it's not intentional. It's really not intentional. This isn't saying something about homophobia or acceptance or whatever. Bucky Larson, he couldn't come up with something like that. Then this whole thing is over and the kid just conveniently forgets that Northman is gay and that he is grossed out by gays. This is so badly plotted. Then the boy, he just does another explosion when they're flying, and there's again some convenient melodrama where the kid is gonna die, and Northman, he cannot save him, and he's yelling at the sky and rubbish like that. And then it ends with Northman having decided that he will actually teach at the Excellent Men's School after all, having been motivated by this old plot that said absolutely nothing about him or his relationship to muties. This is some proper ham-fisted tripe. Northman is gay, that's about it. And kids, they're afraid of things that are different, except they can magically come around and not care about it 3 pages later. And they can also die. And there's hilarious immature jokes implying all gay men are attracted to young boys. Multiple of those jokes. But there is somewhere in there some okayish bits. If you added them all up, probably about the total of a single page. But I didn't know. One thing I can say is at least AIDS didn't get mentioned. Not a single mention of it. So I'll rate it 7 thumbs up.